One major favor you must learn to do yourself as a woman is to never allow yourself to be restricted by your age. Oh, you are too young. You are too young for what? Or you are too old. You are never too old for anything or too young for anything. Age is but a number. There's one thing I always find very disheartening, and this is when I find women counting themselves out of opportunities or the kind of life that they really would have loved to live because of many things, but most especially because of their age. You see women easily giving up on their dreams, giving up on their desired kind of life or impact because they feel, I'm too old for this. And I know that our culture perpetuates this very sad narrative. We have things that have framed women to see themselves like age will always be against them. It's either they are too young or they are too old. You hear things like, she's no longer in her prime, or he married an old cargo. In fact, that was said of me because I got married at 37. People said, oh, she's an old cargo. Me. But you see, the joke is on them. And many women sadly take this to heart and take it in and allow this narrative to define them. You are reaching out for such a big dream. Don't you know that age is no longer on your side? Why did you settle for an old cargo, right? So most women end up settling for the life that was imposed on them, not the life they have chosen to live. And my question is, who even set these rules? Whose rules are those? Who made the standard? Why should we listen to them as women? Because you see, men are not judged by this standard. A man is never too old. In fact, he is aging like fine wine. It's a great thing that a man of 60 was able to catch and marry a woman of 25. Kudos. But for a woman, it's a completely different thing. But who says we should live by these rules and standards? Who made it so? You shouldn't. I shouldn't. I personally refuse to be defined by these societal rules, and you should make that choice too. One major favor you must learn to do yourself as a woman is to never allow yourself to be restricted by your age. Oh, you are too young. You are too young for what? Or you are too old. You are never too old for anything or too young for anything. Age is but a number. You know, when people say such things as you should act your age, what does that mean? I understand about carrying yourself with honor and dignity, but that I can't be as happy and as free as I want because I'm of a certain age. Are you kidding me? You can't stop me. It's about the quality of your life and the state of your mind. Don't let anybody cage you into a box. That there are things that are now off your reach because you're a certain age. I sincerely believe as a woman, and I am actually living it, that your golden years can actually be your best year for so many reasons. Because when you turn the bend, when you become golden like me, there are things that are changing. You are becoming bolder. You are becoming more assertive. You are becoming more expressive. These are the qualities that you need to operate at a certain level in life. You get to a point where you really stop caring so much about what people think, where you have come to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter. That is a great place to be. So you are never too old to reinvent yourself. You have just one life. You have just one life. Don't be afraid to keep reinventing yourself and becoming better and better. As you know, I have the goal of increasing my subscription to a certain number, and I know that with your help and assistance, it will be so easy for me to achieve. And what I need you to do for me is to first subscribe to this channel if you have not done that already, and also share this video with as many women as possible within your network, even those ones not outside of your network, because you never can tell a woman that might need the kind of conversation we have right now in this channel. Something happened. Recently, I started studying the book of Joshua, and the character of Caleb jumped at me so loudly that for the next couple of weeks, we are going to have conversations that is inspired by what I found out about Caleb. If you have any level of Bible knowledge, you must have heard about Caleb, at least somehow. You can find his story in Numbers, Deuteronomy, and Joshua. And just to summarize for some of us that our Bible knowledge is a bit rustic. So Caleb was one of the 12 spies that were sent to spy out the promised land, while others, the other 10, were saying, oh, we can't go, there are giants there are giants. Him and Joshua said, yes, there are giants, but we can actually go and take over the land. They were the people that brought the good report. God was pleased with their report and punished the others by making sure that none of that generation entered the promised land, right? So now for doing that, the Lord promised Caleb that he was going to inherit that same land that they traded on. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. This promise was made to Caleb when he was 40 years. And it took them, it took them 40, 45 years to get to the promised land. So by the time they got to the point of apportioning land and inheritance, Caleb was 85. So 45 years later, Caleb said, that dream, that goal, that promise that was made to me when I was 40, I am ready for it. That I am as strong and as eager to walk into my inheritance as I was when I was 40 years ago. He didn't forget. He was ready. I mean, look at 40 years. And look at you and I. Things that were told us, the dreams that we picked up, the goals that we picked up, maybe like 10 years ago, and now we are feeling too old. He was 85, 45 years later. He did not drop the dream. He did not give up on the dream. He did not forsake the dream. And one confirmation I had that this is a conversation that we must have, that I should have with us, is recently my dear friend Olihe called me from America. She's a professor in one of the American universities. So she just called me so we can catch up. We've not spoken in a long time and a lot has happened. She lost her mom, I lost my dad and all that, And we started talking. We talked about so many things, and then we arrived at this conversation of women giving up on their dreams, as in how it relates to us, where we are in our dreams, the things we have always dreamed to do, or the things the Lord had told us we needed to do. And then, do you know who again she mentioned to me? Caleb. I said, no, God is onto something here. Not just for me, but for my women, for my other moms who might be feeling a certain kind of way about the things the Lord has impressed on their hearts to do, or about the dream that they have dropped. I said, no. And in fact, when she said it, I screamed. I said, do you know, I was also studying Caleb. And we started exchanging notes and what her own perspective, my own perspective. I shared what the Lord showed me. She shared, and I said, no. In fact, by the time we left that conversation, we are so energized. I, for one, was so energized. In the next video, I'll be sharing 3 lessons that I learned from Caleb, and I promise you they are good. You don't want to miss that. And to ensure that you don't miss it, please set your notification on, because the next couple of weeks is going to be good. It's going to be nice, right? And as I wrap up on this today, always remember, you have the power to choose your best life. So, dear woman, do not settle. See you in the next one. Bye.